Well, there you are, guys. Behind me is the entrance to private prison. It says HMP, which stands for Her Majesty's Prison. Used to be government things. Sodexo, private corporation. Profit making. Because, you know, jails really rehabilitate people. They really work. Prison really says to the individual, you are a divine and unique human being, worthy of forgiveness and love and compassion. So much so that we will humiliate you, strip you of your clothes and your dignity, throw you in a fucking rape cage with heroin and fucking depression all day. But hey, let's go have a look.
I just want to talk a bit about rationality, and in particular the issue of population or overpopulation, or more alarmingly the issue of depopulation that is making the rounds both in the mainstream media and in the alternative media, in the spiritual media and the conspiracy media, in the activist world. The big question is, and it's been going on for hundreds of years, you know, we've all heard of, was it Thomas Malthus and the Malthusian view that there's too many people, we can't feed them. And strangely enough, technology progresses at a much faster rate than the ability to feed people, and we're left in a state now where there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of tons of food thrown away every week, every month, every year. So it's not a matter of being able to feed people, it's a matter of natural resources and space. Space where people actually want to live. I mean, I thought London was crowded until I've been seeing the latest hotel releases from Tokyo. I mean, my God! I thought, you know, New York was a big city when I was there, until I've seen some of the satellite images of Mexico City, a city that doesn't seem to end. I mean, soon there'll be no countryside, it'll all just be city. But what we have is a small economic elite, and that's one thing I think we can all agree on, and not think that there's any anything else that we can agree on. But there is definitely an economic elite which is at the moment controlling the world. And the reason why I don't say that they are any other form of elite is because the one thing we can all agree on, and it's all in the public record and in private record and in the public domain for us all to check, so we don't even need to argue about this, is that the one thing about this, you know, 0.1% is their astounding wealth, and the astounding wealth they've managed to accumulate at an even more accelerated pace since the economic recession. And I think it's just, you know, helpful for videos like this to avoid things like secret societies or... You alright? You want to say something?
Yes, man, what's happening? Yes, bro.
No, I need more than that.
Man, oh man. Man's even.
No, but before you go, what's the meaning of life?
Sick.
Sick?
Sick.
Thank you. There you go. Come into the park to try and finish saying what I was saying, because you try doing it walking down the street, there's two policemen arresting a homeless guy with a dog. There was this guy that came in, as you saw, jumped in front of the camera, so... And, you know, I'm very much, you know, a guy who's very aware of all my surroundings, and so it's hard to concentrate. And even here, I'm standing in Piccadilly Gardens, there's a man that looks like an older, broken down Zeus walking past, and he's taking my attention. In fact, I'll have to film him for a sec, just so you can see what I mean. There he is, broken down Zeus. Is that offensive, broken down? He's just an old man. Anyway, ranty rant, rah 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 rah, share ideas, get my mind out into your mind. If we can start again now, 49 seconds into this latest section. Fear and understanding are mutually exclusive, I think. The more understanding you have about a subject or about a person, the less you fear them. And a lot of fear is very much ego-based. things scare us, if we feel they may challenge our status, our security, and you know, how we feel about ourselves and our worldview, all associated with the ego. So, do we fear the tiny minority of ultra-rich? Of course, we all know it's not that everyone's a peasant and suddenly everyone's ultra-rich. There's a sliding scale. But I think above a certain point, I'm not going to throw any guesses as to figures. Actually, I will. I think when you're worth over £1 billion, then you're in some sort of stratospheric, ultra-exclusive league where I don't even think American Express would announce what kind of color card you'd get if you're worth over £1 billion. It wouldn't be platinum, it wouldn't be black, it wouldn't be whatever. It would be probably, oh, you own 80% of American Express. Here, have a slave with you all day. But you know, like, the more we all read into depopulation plans and the optimum population trust, and we see that meeting of, you know, Bill Gates and Oprah and Ted Turner and all these other people who, you know, even Ted Turner, he funded the Georgia Guidestones, let's maintain humanity in perpetual harmony with nature, at below 500 million. We're racing towards 8 billion, and the projections are by 2050 it's going to be 10 billion people on this planet. And Bill Gates came out and did that, was it a TED Talk, talking about vaccines and you know, saying how he would like to see infant mortality come down, and for women to be educated, and for women to be in control of their reproductive capacities, which, who can disagree with that? That women should be more educated and more in control of their wombs, and that infant mortality should be taken down. And I think, this is my honest opinion as I stand here on the 4th of March 2013, is that extreme financial elites, they're interested in two things, I guess: maintaining their power and money, and making more power and money. In terms of secret societies, in terms of warped spiritual, satanic views they may have, without direct evidence of seeing, you know, Bill Gates slice open a young boy and drink his blood, it's all just hearsay at the moment, you know. So, but if their plan for population reduction through education and the lowering of infant mortality, so the theory is, here's the theory, we've seen the video, but it can be interpreted in 100 different ways. The theory is that educated women who don't suffer from very much infant mortality for their kids could choose to have 2 children instead of pumping out 15 and then half of them die, and that's still 8 kids, 7.5 kids, 8 kids. So I see where you know the theory comes from. I mean, in practice, is it going to work? It's trying to educate and free people, as we all know, isn't something that can be just so easily expressed or shared with people. I mean, there's the ego of the egos of a lot of very angry and possessive husbands out there that might not want the way they see it, their property educated. So, if you were a rational elite and you did want a world with rainforests and buffalo, buffalo is a personal favorite of Ted Turner, who I had the pleasure of meeting in Rio at the UN conference, and I actually translated for the guy because it was so homemade, this UN conference, that they didn't even have a translator for Ted Turner. Hold on a sec. Hi, I'm just in the middle of shooting a video, mate.
What are you filming?
Sorry?
What are you filming?
My face. I'm just filming my face. I'm talking to camera. I put it on YouTube.
What, are you from America?
No. But can I help you? I'm just in the middle.
Take a picture of me, please.
Dude, I'm working. I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of something.
Take one.
I don't want to take a photo of you.
So you're filming yourself, yeah?
Yeah. Strange, shivering, angry, homeless guy, I think, came up to me and said, take a picture of me, take a picture of me. And now he's bothering some of the street cleaners. Bizarre. Anyway, where the hell, this is the thing, distractions, like where the hell was I? If the elites are rational and they want a world full of rainforests and natural climate and, you know, biological diversity, if they want tigers and rhinoceroses and elephants and pygmy hippos and normal hippos and crocodiles and snakes and the beautiful amount of insects and amphibians. Anyway, if you want the natural kingdom to actually survive, we have to do something. And I think a rational thing that those in the elite see, and I speak rationally from their point of view, yeah? This is from their point of view. A lot of them are reductionists, a lot of them are following the old Aristotelian view of the world as the grand design of a grand architect. Sorry about the traffic noise, I'm as far away from the traffic as I can be here in the middle of the grass, but they follow this Aristotelian grand order of the universe all the way down, you know, from the grand architect, God, all the way down to, I don't know, an electron at the bottom, and it goes through, you know, God, man, woman, horse, dog, you know. And so they're Darwinians as well. They're social Darwinists, they're evolutionary Darwinists, and they see themselves at the top of the club, that they've made it. They and their families for however many generations, or whether they're newly into the club, they see themselves, for their reasons, as a cut above the rest. And they see themselves as refined, civilized, educated, successful people. And obviously they're not going to think of themselves as idiots. So they're going to think of themselves as intelligent and being able to figure things out. And they're also aware of the population explosions, and the way their, I guess, entitled brains must think is that they need a plan B. And that if the world doesn't start to stabilize within 100 years, you know, if population starts going up to 11 billion, 12 billion, and with the rampant consumerism still the main way in the West, and now in India and China, all of Southeast Asia, South America now getting rich and very consumey, is that even at the rates with just America doing it, the planet was going to be devoured within decades. And now with the whole third world becoming first world and becoming very powerful, it doesn't take a scientist, it doesn't take an environmentalist. All it takes is any human being who is able to think intuitively to know that unless we have incredible technological advances in the next decade or next 2 decades, which we might. This was the mistake Malthus made. He says, we'll never be able to feed everyone. Next thing you know, we can produce too much food. That if people do, and I'm speaking again from the point of view of the elites, if they want to be able to take a flight to Brazil and walk through an untouched rainforest and see anacondas and monkeys in the trees and golden tamarind monkeys, my personal favorite, then they feel, I guess, because they see themselves as a different species than the rest of the droning, self-hating kind of like bovine public. They probably don't think I mean, what's this? A lot of them invest in arms companies and weapons, nuclear warfare, you know, massive shipping, oil, mining, which annihilates indigenous cultures, and their family members probably been killing little brown people for generations. So it's just an order of magnitude, not one of morality, for them to see about culling, say, 5 billion, 6 billion, 7 billion, 8 billion, 9 billion people. Because the thing with people who have been corrupted fully by power, and power does corrupt, and absolute power does corrupt, absolutely, is that you are removed from the global consciousness. You are, in your own mind, in your own view, a cut above the rest. And here's the big thing, guys, is that we can't call them evil or crazy for wanting to depopulate. They have rational reasons involving nature, preservation of climate, rainforest, fish supplies. And the way an elite industrialist might very easily be able to knock down a building or rebuild a building or build a shopping mall or fish a whole sea until there's no fish in it. It's just another decision, another business decision to manufacture a false flag or kick off World War III. You might not even need a false flag. I mean, China and India and Russia might very soon get Bolshevik enough, get angry enough, get confident enough that they think, yeah, we can sort them out. We can restore the glory of the Russian Federation, restore the glory of the Chinese kingdom, the Chinese empire. And I saw a great documentary about the Chinese cinema, the state of Chinese Hollywood at the moment, and the poor bastards, man. Like, they're all well-traveled, well-educated, great filmmakers, yet they're pumping out the same tired, old, pathetic, yay China like films because nothing else gets past the censors. The government state censors won't let them talk about current events or sexuality or anything like that. So every single Chinese film coming out of these major studios is the same old historical costume dramas of yay China, yay unification, yay everyone being a drone. And it's, you know, but what the hell tangent was that? Talk about Chinese cinema now. But internationally, I think the Chinese industrial elites, the British industrial elites, and from anywhere in the world, they probably do see themselves as more kind of like more related to each other in a Darwinian sense than they do with their own countrymen. And this is probably the greatest danger of globalization, where you will have unofficially, very unofficially, truly a one world council of people who feel they've made it, that they are better than everyone else. Again, maybe I'm projecting my own insecurities here, but probably not. I do feel this is true. A bunch of privileged and entitled elites who not only do they have the brains and the ability to discuss how to depopulate, they also unfortunately have the power and the political connections to do it. Well, there's a big subject, very big subject, and I aim to be controversial, and I aim to try and talk about things which are difficult to talk about. So ultimately, just use your mind. Use your mind. You have one.